As we all know, Louisiana over the past 40 or 50 years has been rapidly disappearing. Our climate's been changing. Our coastline has been eroding and subsiding at an alarming rate. And as oystermen, we've been at the forefront of that battle to try to keep our resource alive and well. Not only the oysters, but all other fisheries in the state are being affected by, the changing climate. The Louisiana Oyster Task Force was developed by the state legislature to report back to the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries our concerns and needs and what we needed to do to promote and enhance the oyster industry. Oysters are a very important part of Louisiana's history and its culture, rich in its culture and heritage. Oyster reefs are very viable to our ecosystem as they are the hiding place for all juvenile species of fish. They filter water. They're a very, very important part of our estuary. As oystermen of the state, we've had some really good times and we've had some really bad times. Those bad times sometimes come in the form of a natural disaster such as Hurricane Katrina back in 2005. But the one thing about oystermen and the resources is very resilient. And especially in a natural disaster type situation, we could rebound pretty quickly. But sometimes, Katrina was very, very massive and it took a little while to rebound. And right about the time we rebound, we hit the next disaster, which was a man-made disaster, the BP oil spill in 2010. In times of trying to rebuild from there, we had another issue in 2012 when a massive breach in the East Bank levee inundated the most pristine public oyster seed ground with massive amounts of fresh water from the river. It was a crevasse that directly opened from the river, spilling directly into that estuary where the public oyster grounds were. The most prominent public oyster grounds in the world existed. We've had a situation where we had to go make more on our private grounds to try to offset the lost resource on our public grounds. And we were doing pretty well until, once again, 2019, the Great Flood, the historic event of the Mississippi River flooding of 2019. And not only that, just the overflow of the river itself into all of our oyster growing estuaries wreaked havoc on us again. We lost, a substantial amount of our market size and, basically our whole crops were wiped out in some areas. So the one thing I could say is we've had our share of hardships, but we've had our share of good times. And we do know, that as resilient as we've been in the past, we're hopeful and we keep a positive attitude that, these events are short-lived and we can rebound as quickly as possible. What we can do as fishermen is hope and pray dearly that some good can come out of all of this. We have to fix what man has destroyed and rely on Mother Nature to do her thing to help us rebound. And it goes along with a saying, they didn't name it Mother Nature for a reason. They don't call it Father Nature because it seemed like when man gets his hands into something, he just messes it all up. But Mother Nature comes in and fixes it all. So we gotta pray to Mother Nature to come in and fix what man has messed up.